Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We were just waiting another, few seconds to let some people enter, but we are going to go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is we're going to, go through a short slide set so that you all know what types of programs we have available for you and our admissions criteria. We're going to have some folks introduce themselves that are present, and we are going to open it up for you all to ask us any questions that you have. So as we're going through the department and all of the different programs we have, think of questions that you might want to ask us. We have a lot of folks on with us tonight, a lot of expertise that can answer any question that you might have. So let's get started. We're going to talk about the Biomedical Laboratory Sciences Department at George Washington University's School of Medicine and Health Sciences. And as many of you might know, the biomedical laboratory sciences, or the biomedical laboratory scientists, investigate and aid in the determination of disease causation, utilizing the latest biomedical instruments, molecular techniques, and perform routine and complex testing. So some things that some of you may not know is that 70% of all medical decisions are actually based on laboratory test results. So many of the programs within the Biomedical Laboratory Sciences Department here at George Washington University focus on laboratory science and laboratory testing, diagnostic types of testing. So laboratory tests are more than 7 billion lab tests are conducted annually, and that is just in the United States. So in our department, our mission is to prepare high quality and diverse biomedical science professionals to meet the challenges in today's global markets. And our vision is to advance the biomedical sciences field through innovative programs, community outreach, scholarship, and cutting-edge educational technologies. So we have several of our biomedical laboratory sciences team present today. So we are going to have folks that are on each slide introduce themselves, your name and what you do in the Biomedical Laboratory Sciences Department. So we could start with Dr. Barzani.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Barzani. I'm an assistant professor in the BLS department. I'm also the program director for laboratory medicine. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. I teach graduate courses in the program, including hematology and immunology and serology. And it's good to have you guys.
Thank you, Dr. Barzani. Professor Simrat?
Hi, everyone. My name is Cliff Simrod. I'm the program director for the undergraduate MLS programs here at GW. I teach several courses, didactic courses, such as hematology, and also a number of the face-to-face labs that we have. And I'm happy that everyone's here.
Thank you. And we have Dr. Rohini Ganju, who is not present with us this evening, but she is the director of all of our non-clinical master's programs within the department. So these are the medical laboratory sciences, translational microbiology, and the immunohematology and biotechnology master's programs. And we do have a new faculty member that is starting in 2022 who will be the director for our molecular diagnostic sciences programs. We have more faculty. Dr. Carol Rentas is present. So Dr. Rentas, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Carol Rentas, and director of the HSLT program and assistant professor and I teach clinical chemistry, laboratory management, and some immunohematology.
Great. Professor Cram, you are here. Would you like to introduce yourself also?
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jan Cram. I'm an adjunct assistant professor, and I teach several courses, including immunology and serology, parasitology in the graduate program, as well as laboratory management.
Great. And Dr. Schwartz, you are also present.
Everyone, I teach mainly genetics as well as ethics and leadership courses within both the undergraduate and graduate programs. And I also serve as the pre-health professions advisors for BLS students who are interested in possibly pursuing an additional health professional career after completing their BLS degree or program.
And we're going to go over that a little bit in more detail in just a few moments. So we'll get back to that as well. More members of our team are present. We have several advisors that are here with us today. Terry, would you like to introduce yourself?
On the microphone. Hi, everyone. I'm Terry Bevilacqua. I am the manager of enrollment and advising services. I am also the academic advisor to all of our graduate programs. I look forward to working with you.
Excellent. And Ivy is also here. Ivy, would you like to say hello?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Ivy Meadows. I am the academic advisor for our bachelor's programs. Thanks for joining us.
And we also have Jonalyn Phelan, who is not with us this evening, but she is a senior academic advisor for our post-baccalaureate certificate program, as well as a military program that we have, which is a master's degree in immunohematology. And we also have Carmen Session, who I think might be here in a little bit, but I don't see her here at the moment. But she is an assistant director of admissions enrollment manager and an advisor for our Northern Virginia Community College Loudoun campus, and she also is a case manager for our HCOP program, which we will also be discussing in a few moments. And we have more members, our clinical team and laboratory managers. Olga Terakina is with us. Olga, would you like to introduce yourself?
Certainly. Greetings, everyone. I'm Olga Terakina, and as the clinical coordinator, I oversee student transition to the clinical phase for in-person clinical rotations. I also facilitate graduate practicum courses.
Excellent. And Sachi De Silva is at one of our professional conferences and can't be here with us this evening, but she is the clinical coordinator for our local students. Allison Cannon, who I also don't think is present this evening, but she is our laboratory manager and oversees all of our laboratories and students in the lab courses within our blended programs. And we also have Emma Levine, and Emma is here. So Emma, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I am Emma Levine, and I'm the academic department administrator for the BLS department. So I handle the operations. Nice to meet you all.
Excellent. So that is the team of biomedical laboratory sciences. And we are just going to go over some of the programs that you might want to get more information about. So we have baccalaureate degree programs. Those include medical laboratory sciences. We have a fully online program for MLT certified individuals, and we have a blended program for non-MLTs. The difference between blended and fully online, of course, fully online is all the didactic courses are online, and that program does have some practicum clinical rotations. The blended program all of our blended programs have a combination of online didactic courses and in-person laboratory courses, as well as the clinical rotations. Our molecular diagnostic sciences program also has both a fully online MLT to MLS program as well as a blended program. And we also have the only baccalaureate degree program in clinical embryology and assisted reproductive technology in the United States. And that is only a blended program where the bulk of the courses are online didactic courses, and then there are some in-person laboratory courses. For those individuals that already have a baccalaureate degree, we have some program options for you. One is, well, I should say several, are our post-baccalaureate certificate programs. So these are programs for individuals that have a baccalaureate degree. These are undergraduate certificate programs, so they have our undergraduate tuition rate. We have certificates in medical laboratory sciences, and we also have certificates in categorical areas of the laboratory sciences. And these categorical areas are blood banking, clinical chemistry, hematology, microbiology, and molecular diagnostics. Also, for people that already have a baccalaureate degree, we have master's degree programs. We have several programs that are for individuals that don't already have any type of certification. So we have our laboratory medicine program, which provides eligibility to become MLS certified. We have our molecular diagnostic sciences program, which provides eligibility to become molecular biology certified. Clinical microbiology program that provides eligibility to become microbiology certified, and our translational microbiology program for individuals that are already certified or aren't interested in becoming micro-certified. We have a couple of master's degree programs that do require a certification. So individuals that are MLT or MLS certified with a baccalaureate degree and want to move into a leadership or management type of position, we have our master's in medical lab sciences, which again, designed for people that are certified, want to move into management, as well as our immunohematology and biotechnology masters. Again, people that are certified, that are working in blood banking or transfusion medicine, that want to move into leadership or management. We also have several dual degree programs. So our dual degree programs, we have a bachelor's in medical laboratory sciences and a master's in molecular diagnostic sciences, as well as a bachelor's in molecular diagnostic sciences with a master's in clinical microbiology. Now, with our dual degree programs, what you do is you take some courses as an undergraduate that are at the graduate level. Immediately when you complete your baccalaureate degree, you move directly into the master's degree, and you've already taken some courses in the undergraduate program at the graduate level, so you don't have to take those again. So it means you graduate with both degrees in less time, and not having to take a couple of graduate courses means that it lowers the cost of both degrees. Many of our programs in the department are accredited. So George Washington University is accredited by Middle States, and then many of our programs are additionally accredited by the National Accrediting Agency for Clinical Laboratory Sciences, or NACLS. So our bachelor's in medical lab science, our certificate programs, our master's in clinical microbiology, as well as our master's in laboratory medicine programs are all accredited through NACLS. This slide just shows some of our
just one question.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Does that include the Masters in Molecular Diagnostics one? The NACLS accreditation?
The Masters, the molecular diagnostics is, the process for becoming certified has been initiated. It's not fully certified at the present time, but it will be very shortly. So, and we can talk about certification in that area, but that area for certification, individuals that are MLT or MLS certified are eligible to take the molecular board exams, and anyone that has 6 months to 1 year of experience can also sit for those board exams. But once we become fully accredited, you can sit for the board exams without having already had experience.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So this slide just shows some of the demographics, of our master's and our undergraduate programs of, gender and ethnicities. And you could see that we have a very diverse population of students. We won't go through all of those. We can share the slides afterwards, so you can go through anything you'd like in more detail. We do have some programs that we hope to have in the future. One is a master's degree in pathology assistant, a laboratory management certificate program, as well as a doctorate in clinical laboratory sciences program. So stay tuned for some of these future programs. Now, we are fortunate in the biomedical laboratory sciences where the majority of our students get jobs within the field. Some, a large percentage, are getting job offers before they even graduate, and the day they graduate, they are getting jobs. But over 95% of our graduates get jobs within 3 to 6 months after graduation within the field. And these careers that people are getting jobs in, a lot of them are laboratory based, hospital laboratories, private laboratories such as LabCorp or Quest, biotech and pharmaceutical companies, health departments, crime labs, vet labs, blood banks, blood donation centers, research laboratories, as well as some non-laboratory careers such as medical sales, technical service, government regulatory agencies, and a lot of our graduates go on to various medical school, graduate schools, different master's programs and doctoral programs. And Dr. Schwartz, as she mentioned, is our pre-health professions advisor who helps all of our students who are interested in moving on to various types of programs beyond their time with us. She is instrumental in helping with that. So the job outlook in the laboratory sciences, if you look in the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, you can see that the employment rates for these types of jobs are very good. They're projected to grow 7% between 2019 and 2029, which is much faster than average. There is a current shortage in laboratory professionals across the country, and this is due a lot because of many individuals that have been in the profession for a long time have reached retirement age. So as they retire, it opens up vacancies. So there definitely is a shortage. So great career potential in the laboratory sciences. And again, I mentioned over 95% employment rate within the field for our graduates, and we're very proud of that statistic. So quickly to go through our admissions, the admissions for our bachelor's programs, and this is for online or blended, we require 45 semester hours, 45 credits of transferable college credits. And you have to come in with English, 8 credits of biology with a lab, 4 credits of microbiology, 8 credits of chemistry, 3 credits of organic chemistry or biochemistry, a 3-credit math course at the college level, either algebra or statistics or pre-calculus or calculus, and then a variety of humanities, social sciences, and elective courses. And we require a cumulative and a science GPA of 2.5. We do have guaranteed admissions programs with most of the local community colleges within the area. And so if you happen to be a community college student and you have a 2.75 GPA, you can come through any of our bachelor's programs through a guaranteed admissions, which we waive the application fee. You don't need the letters of recommendation. There's many things that you don't have to put in to reduce the time, and you're guaranteed an admission. So just to point out, students missing credits in social sciences, humanities, or electives, we can offer those credits through GW within the School of Medicine and Health Sciences. Now, we do have a new admissions criteria, and this is just for our baccalaureate blended program. So we have a blended program in medical laboratory sciences and molecular diagnostics, as well as in assisted reproductive technology. So for any of those programs, you could come in with 24 college credits, and that includes dual enrollment as well as AP courses. It requires a GPA of 2.75, and you have to have a B or higher in English, biology, or chemistry, 8 credits with a lab, as well as a college level math course. And of course, to get to 24 credits, you would have some additional elective courses. For our post-baccalaureate certificate programs, you would have to have a baccalaureate degree from a regionally accredited college or university, a cumulative and science GPA of 2.5, and a grade of C or higher in English, math, biology, chemistry, microbiology, and organic or biochemistry. Our master's degree program admissions, again, a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited college or university, a 3.0 minimum cumulative GPA, and there are some program-specific requirements, so you'd want to go to our website to look at any of those specific requirements, but we do typically require English, math, and a minimum of 8 credits of a biology. Some other requirements for our application: you would need a resume, you would need your official transcripts from any college courses that you've taken. You'd need 1 letter of rec for undergraduate programs, 2 for grad programs. You'd want to write a statement of purpose. For our clinical programs, if you are non-local, you would need to have a practicum site in your geographic location. And anyone that is a non-U.S. citizen, you would need to have an English language test, such as the TOEFL. We also have some post-matriculation requirements. So in the first semester, you have to complete a clinical background check and a drug screen. And for our clinical programs only, you have to have an essential function form signed by a physician, as well as a physical exam. Prior to clinical rotations, again, this is only for our clinical rotation programs, our clinical programs, you would have to have immunization documentation, a TB test, and some of our clinical sites have some other specific requirements that we would go over. Olga Terakina and Sachi De Silva, our clinical coordinators, have clinical orientations and would go over all of those different requirements with you in those orientations. Now, our various programs, we've kind of mentioned these programs. We have the medical laboratory sciences, the laboratory medicine, and the clinical microbiology programs. Those are all clinical programs that are designed to train individuals to perform laboratory testing on human samples to aid in disease diagnosis. And graduates of these programs are eligible to take the American Society for Clinical Pathology Board of Certification exams. So our bachelor's in MLS and our post-bac certificate in MLS, as well as our master's in laboratory medicine graduates, can take the MLS, Medical Laboratory Scientist Board exams. Our clinical microbiology graduates are eligible to take the technologist in microbiology exam, and our post-baccalaureate certificate graduates in our categorical areas are eligible to take the subject certification exams. And the subject areas are microbiology, hematology, chemistry, and blood banking. We have our molecular diagnostic sciences programs. We have a baccalaureate level as well as a master's degree. And I think everyone has heard a lot about molecular testing, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, which are all molecular-based PCR tests. And so, a lot of tests, diagnostic tests in the clinical setting have been moving in the molecular direction. So molecular is becoming more and more common in the clinical area, and it's been very common in the research area for many years. Individuals from these programs are eligible to take the molecular biology certification exam. We also have a clinical embryology and assisted reproductive technology baccalaureate program, which is a blended program. This program trains individuals to use in vitro fertilization and assisted reproductive technologies. And the demand for ART technologies has doubled over the past decade. So individuals that are trained in assisted reproductive technology are in high demand. And as I had mentioned previously, we have the only baccalaureate degree program in the U.S. in assisted reproductive technology. Our graduate programs that are focused on leadership, management, and research, we have our, several programs such as our Masters in MLS, as well as our Masters in Immunohematology and Biotechnology. So many individuals that are already MLT certified or MLS certified and have lab experience that want to move into a supervisory or management position might be interested in these types of graduate programs, depending on what areas you work in, if you're a generalist or a microbiologist or blood banking individual. So these programs will allow you to move into a supervisory position. So why would you want to choose GW's Biomedical Lab Sciences programs? Well, our clinical programs are NACLS accredited, which is very important for individuals that are considering some of these clinical professional programs. You can complete your degree in a fully online or blended format. Our graduates in our medical laboratory sciences programs have a 5-year, pretty much a 94% overall pass rate for our MLS Board of Certification exams compared to a 78.6% national average pass rate. So our students do really well on their first attempts of the board exams. Greater than 95% of our graduates are employed in the field, not just employed, within 3 months of program completion. And we also have a high-touch pre-health professions advising program run by Dr. Lisa Schwartz. We could have Dr. Schwartz mention more about this program if anyone has any questions about it, but here's just some specific information. We also have some scholarships and awards. So we have some department scholarships, we have baccalaureate level scholarships, we have a regional scholarship, an MLT to MLS scholarship, as well as a hybrid or blended program scholarship. And we have a financial needs scholarship for our master's programs. We also have a health careers opportunity program. And that program is a federally funded grant program from the Health Resources and Service Administration, or HRSA. And the mission of this program is to assist individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds to enter a health profession through the development of academies to support and guide them through an educational pipeline. So individuals can apply for these scholarships at the time of admissions, and once a year in the March timeframe, individuals can apply to our HCOP, Health Careers Opportunity Program, and that program provides stipends, provides mentorship program, and many other additional great things that the HCOP program provides. So we are going to open it up to all of you. We want to provide you with time to ask us questions and get all your questions answered. So this is your opportunity to ask away. If you have a microphone, you could just state your question. If you don't have a microphone or are not comfortable, you can just type your question into the chat, and we will get one of our biomedical laboratory science department experts that are here to answer your questions. So who has any questions for us?
I had a question about one of the dual bachelor's master's programs. I was wondering if the Bachelor's of Med Lab Science and Master's of Public Health dual program was still offered.
So yeah, we don't currently, we actually have not had a bachelor's program combined with public health. But I did get your question earlier today, and I actually am going to reach out to see if maybe that's an option. Our programs are in the School of Medicine and Health Sciences, and public health programs are in the Milken Institute School of Public Health, which are two different schools within George Washington University. They have very different tuition. So our tuition rates within our biomedical laboratory sciences department are much lower tuition rates. So sometimes it can be a little difficult to combine programs with other schools that have very different tuition rates, but it is something that we will look seriously into and see if we can provide something like that in the future. But right now we don't have a combination, but a lot of our courses are public health related in regard to infectious disease, epidemiology, and disease prevention.
Okay. And for the other master's programs, are any of those courses offered in person?
So the courses that are offered in person, and I use quotation marks in person, it is in person, our clinical programs have a required clinical rotation, and those rotations are done in person in an approved diagnostic laboratory in your geographic location. So if you happen to be local, you would work with our local clinical coordinator, Sachi De Silva, and you would be placed in one of our local clinical sites to do your clinical practicum courses. If you are not local, you would complete your practicum courses in your own geographic area, in person, in a hospital or diagnostic laboratory within your location, so that you don't have to move. All of our didactic courses are online because our programs are designed to allow working individuals and non-traditional students, adults with jobs and families to complete their degrees. So we don't have many in-person courses. We do have our baccalaureate degree program, our 24 credit program, and that program, a large percentage of the courses in that program starting in the fall of 2023 will be in person. But our master's programs, our didactic courses are online at the moment, and our practicum courses are all done in person in your geographic location.
Okay. And if you're doing the route where you already have MLT certification and you're finishing the MLT to MLS pathway, do you have to do clinicals again?
So what we do in that program is you can waive out of clinicals. We have a waiver application process. So you could waive out of that, any area of the lab that you have the appropriate amount of experience in, you can waive out of your rotations. Even if you can't waive out of your rotations, let's say in one area of the lab or a couple of areas of the lab where you don't have the experience, we have shortened rotations. So our MLT individuals complete rotations in half the amount of time as our non-MLT. So for example, if a rotation is 4 weeks, our MLT students can complete it in 2 weeks, and that's only for rotations that they can't waive out of. Olga Terakina is present, and she could provide you with more information on our waiver process if you'd be interested in knowing more about that.
Sure. And so, because isn't the final year for the bachelor's all clinicals, or does that still have some courses?
Yeah, it's all clinical rotations as well as the capstone course, and that's actually just the final semester, not the final year. The final semester is the practicum courses and a capstone course. And again, if you waive out of the rotations, you would still take the practicum course because the practicum courses have review materials and practice exams and things like that, and an end of rotation exam. You just wouldn't have to physically rotate through the laboratories if you could waive out of the clinical rotation. Olga, do you want to provide some quick information on the waiver process?
Sure. So the way the waiver process works is for students who have a commensurate experience in a particular section. The most amount of experience required is 6 months, but it varies by section. And the experience must have occurred within the last 5 years. So the student can fill out a form. We have for each section a different form, and this experience will need to be attested by a supervisor who can attest to the student professional and technical proficiency. So once we receive the waivers, then it goes through the approval process, and if the experience is sufficient, then the student will be essentially exempt from in-person clinical rotations. So this is a very common process. We have a lot of MLT certified students, and we encourage students to actually apply for those if they qualify.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Does anyone else have questions? Don't be shy. This is what we're here for. We want to make sure any question you might have is answered.
Good evening. And I wanted you all to speak a little bit more about the guaranteed admissions for the community college students. I'm currently in my second to last semester at Prince George's Community College, and I wanted to get a little bit more information because that was very interesting to me.
Excellent. So Carmen Session is very well versed on the guaranteed admissions. She is not with us. Professor Simrat, would you like to give a brief overview on the guaranteed admissions process?
Sure. So for guaranteed admissions, we just have a few prerequisites that are required in order to apply through that route. Most importantly, the cumulative and science GPA would need to be 2.75. As long as you have that plus the general prerequisites of 8 credits of biology and 8 credits of chemistry, and 4 credits of microbiology, plus the other prerequisites. Providing that you're one of the schools that we have an agreement with, which I believe we do with yours, then you would be able to have the fee waived for your application, which is nice. Am I missing anything else, Dr. Fermani?
No, I mean, just the fee waived. You don't have to have letters of recommendation. I'm just trying to think of some of the other things you don't need. There's like a couple things that you don't need to make the application process faster, and then you don't actually need to have everything reviewed, and you're automatically admitted. So, yep,
It does still have to go through the review process to ensure everything is there, just to make sure.
Right. As long as you meet everything, you'd be admitted.
I was going
Awesome.
to say,
Thank you so much.
I was going to add to that which school are you currently at?
I'm currently at Prince George's Community College. I'm in the health science department.
Okay. Are you in the process of completing their Associates of Science?
Yes, the Associates in Health Science. Yes, ma'am.
Yep. So that should, completion of that program with the required GPA automatically meets each of the individual courses that we would typically be looking for admission. They're already prescribed into that Associate of Science. So all the coursework is automatically guaranteed with that degree completion and degree award with the minimum GPA.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Forgot to mention that we do have some current students and some graduates that are with us tonight also. So if anyone that is here and has any questions on our courses, on what is it like to be a student in our programs, what are our courses like, please feel free to ask, because we have representatives present that can answer any question.
Yeah, I just was getting ready to ask about which of your master's program would you say is the I would say the most involved in terms of getting the students to do some type of research. And I just looked. It looks like you're the director for the molecular diagnostics one.
Right.
But I didn't want to take up all the time. Someone did put a question in the chat, and I didn't want them to get missed.
Oh, well, just quickly, all of our master's programs, except for the clinical microbiology program, all of our other master's programs, every one of them has a research component to it. So the last two courses within that program of study of all of our master's programs is a current topics course where you write a proposal for a project, and a capstone course, and in your master's capstone courses, you actually carry out that project and write a manuscript for a journal. We don't require that you publish, but we do have students that actually publish their capstone projects. So a large portion of our master's programs do have a research component.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Marcia, I want to handle the question that was submitted through the chat.
Yeah, can you read that question?
Sure,
yeah,
the
go
question.
ahead.
Yep, the question is for the MSHS programs. What are the admission dates that are available? I'm, ad-libbing for each of the semesters. Currently, the only date that shows on the website is the upcoming term for spring. However, we do offer admission for the summer as well as for next fall. The deadlines are roughly, without me actually digging through a boatload of files, the application deadline for the summer 2022 semester would be late March, mid-March, late March, around there, I think, because our classes actually begin in April. And then the Applications for fall admission would be due in late July or very early August, give or take, right around there. But we do offer 3 admission periods for our graduate programs. There is a part 2 to that question. For the immunohematology and biotechnology program, there are elective opportunities for that program. And the question is, what are some of those possible elective options? I will tell you what some of those elective options are. And then in the chat box, I'm going to provide my email address. And you can shoot me an email and we can talk more in depth about these specific electives. But for the immunohematology and biotechnology program, some of the electives are molecular pathology, molecular epidemiology, advanced molecular diagnostics, data analytics and research methods in Lab Med, education and assessment in MLS, advanced laboratory management and operations, as well as microbial pathogenesis. Those are the current electives for that particular program.
Great. Thanks, Terry. I was hoping you were going to answer that one too. I know we're a little bit over time, but we want to make sure that we answer everyone's questions. So, please reach out if you could stay another minute or so and get your questions answered. And if anyone who is here who's from the BLS team, if there's something you want to mention that wasn't mentioned, again, we do have some current students on the line. I know Jackie Calagaru is on the line. So thank you for students who and graduates who have come in tonight. Please don't be shy.
Yeah, I was hoping if no one else had any other questions for right now, that the students who are here could, just say what programs they've done and what it's like being in those, stuff like that, just so we can get an idea.
Sure. Jackie, would you like to say what program and any comments about it?
Hi, can everyone see me or hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Jackie Calagaru. A little bit about me. I did wait a year before I applied for the MSHS clinical microbiology program. So between getting my bachelor's and my master's, I'm going to just talk a little bit about the program, a little bit more in depth about it. It is a 36 credits program. It's 2 years. It's all online except for the clinicals. I do suggest, if you are going to be in this program, to find your site before you start the program. It's very important that you don't want to worry about that at the last minute. Another thing I could mention is that how the courses are like. So you usually take 2 to 3 courses per semester. You usually have a week to finish all your assignments that were given by the professors. And that's really helpful, especially if you have a job. A lot of students are working right now in a laboratory or any other type of job. So it's really helpful to have that time period and to manage your own coursework. A lot of the classes do incorporate group work because it is all online. So you do talk to other students that are in your courses, usually through discussion posts. You're going to have some group work involved in there. Usually there will be quizzes in a lot of the courses, and it's very important you study those quizzes or exams beforehand. Plan ahead, usually quizzes, exams, they're due by Sunday. Plan beforehand to take it. Some professors are generous and will allow you to take it 2 times. That's for quizzes. So it's really nice that you can just, like I said before, organize. How the staff and the faculty have been. The advisor is very, very, very helpful. So any simple to complex question you have, I would highly suggest don't feel shy about reaching out to them. I always reach out to my advisor, and she's very, very helpful, always has answers for me, and answers very promptly. Professors, I've had some amazing professors. Even though it's online, I've had some professors that I have very close relationships now through email. You could also video chat if you have questions through Blackboard, one-on-one meetings with your professors. But yeah, besides that, there'll also be someone who will help you in case you have questions throughout the application process if you are applying to any of the programs at George Washington. So they'll help you through everything from letters of recommendations through transcripts, your essays. They'll even look over your essays, have any comments for you to change anything in your essays. So it's really from start to finish. Everyone's very helpful. And I highly recommend, trying to find a program at George Washington that you like. So thank you for having me here.
Thanks so much, Jackie. We didn't actually pay her to say any of that.
I don't know if Jackie can answer this or not. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but did you reside in the DC area? Did you have like access to the library and stuff like that in terms of like having a place to study and get your things done?
So it's a funny thing. I actually never visited George Washington University, and I have that on my list, but I've had that on my list for quite a while, but I am busy with work and school. I didn't reside here. I actually moved from New York right before my classes began, so in the May of 2020, and I did begin in the summer. So also with the courses, you will have courses during the summer as well. But that is why it is a 2-year program instead of, your traditional probably 4-year. So it is nice as well. But yeah, I did come from New York, and I just got myself an apartment here. I'll be doing my clinicals at UVA in the summer. So I will probably be, deciding what I'm going to do, living situation then. But I just love the area. It's a great place to live if you don't reside in Virginia, DC area.
And, if you are local, just, you can use the library. We have the School of Medicine and Health Sciences has a library, Himmelfarb Library in Ross Hall, that is available to any SMHS student. And we also have a library at our Virginia Science and Technology campus where our departments are currently located, and there's a space to study there. There's so you can use the campus if you are a local student.
Awesome, thank you. Are one of the students here, did any one of them do the immunohematology biotech program?
I don't think we have an immunoheme student here. We do have our one of our clinical coordinators, Olga Terakina. She actually did her baccalaureate degree here as well as her master's degree in molecular diagnostic sciences. So, we do have some graduates here that have gotten their degrees through one of our programs also.
That is true. Thank you, Dr. Firmani. Actually, when I completed my bachelor in clinical laboratory sciences, and then shortly after I started the master's in medical laboratory sciences, which not only enabled me to do my MLS certification, but also get my molecular biology certification. So that is something that has been a goal of mine, and I'm very happy that I was able to do that. So, and that opened up new opportunities for me, not only as a generalist medical laboratorian, but actually specialized molecular biology technologist. So, and having attained the master's degree, that also increased my professional chances for professional success and promotions and professional prestige, but also I presented at 2 national conferences. And with some of the information I did, some of the research I did for my capstone project. So that's definitely has a long-lasting implication that are very positive for your career. So I strongly encourage you to consider any of the graduate programs.
Thank you.
Sorry, Olga, that's right. You did the MLS program, but you did take the molecular board, so I had molecular on the brain.
Yes. And even though the programs are online programs, and a lot of work that you do is based on your own discipline and time management, there are still opportunities to be involved and leadership opportunities and to be engaged and to be recognized for your efforts. So just because the program is online, that by no means is that you feel remote or disconnected from your greater community.
You said leadership opportunities. What kind of leadership opportunities do you mean?
So some of the courses that I have taken as part of the medical laboratory sciences program, I actually had to do live projects in the place that I worked. So you take a class, you take a course, and throughout the course, you apply the principles learned in the course and develop your project in your place of work. So not only that you're applying what you learn, but you also improve in your workplace. And as Jackie had mentioned, there are group projects, and some of the courses that are offered at the master's level, they're not necessarily all laboratorians there. There are other health professionals from other health professions. So you actually manage projects that are technically like interdisciplinary. So you either work on a research project together or some presentation, or you develop some other, whatever it is the course that, some other project that may be in line with the course. So, and you assume leadership roles that way. And of course, there's always local chapter of American Society for Clinical Laboratory Scientists, the American Society of Clinical Pathology. So there are always those professional opportunities that are available to our graduates.
Yeah, and leadership in your profession too. So, Olga, you managed a laboratory before you started your position at GW. So you were in a leadership role with your career. So, and a lot of our graduates do move into various supervisory management types of roles within the laboratory.
And also educational as well.
And education, yep.
Thank you.
Of course.
Any other questions? Anyone else have any comments to add? If not, we will share the information with everyone tonight, and please reach out with any questions you have. If you think of something afterward or tomorrow, whenever, just reach out and we will definitely get your questions answered. So thank you all for spending some of your evening with us, and thank you to everyone in the BLS team that came in tonight, and we're here to answer any questions. So thank you.